Hey guys, how's it going? DFW's Cars here. I am here today with the Fiat 124 Spider, and I'm really excited about this car. I mean, just look at it, it's absolutely beautiful. Let's go do a walk around, we'll do some driving in it, we'll check out the engine, we'll check out the exhaust, and we'll see, is this car really different than the Miata, or is it just a Fiata as everybody's been saying?
The front of this car is very different and very unique and very pretty. It's longer. I love the chrome up here on the Lusso edition. Reminds me of the Audi's convertibles. Nice rims. Beautiful back. Very Maserati-ish almost. This looks like an Italian car. Very wide, very low, very lean, very muscular. I like it better than the Miata personally.
I'll be honest, I went into this car feeling a little unsure. Really wanting to love it. Really wanting to think this is a special, great car. But I had doubts. I wasn't sure if Fiat could pull it off. Having spent the afternoon with it, having driven it, having really gotten to know the car, they did it. They pulled it off in a way I wasn't sure that they could. It's a wonderful car. It is probably my favorite roadster out there right now. It's fun. It's a good long-term cruiser. It's surprisingly comfortable. It's quiet with the top up, which is not something I can say about other cars like the Miata. That extra layer of padding, it feels just ever so much more like I could live with this car every day. Because with the turbocharger, it does have that great around town grunt. You don't have to push the engine too hard to get all the power out of it. The way they tune the suspension on it, it feels a little sharper in the turns. It's a great car.
So let me run through the interior of this car for you because I think it is particularly nice. It's just got that ever so much slightly nicer finish than the Miata, which is great because it's not really a more expensive car, but it certainly feels more expensive when you're sitting inside and looking at it. I mean, it's very subtle things here and there. Even take the nav system. They same exact nav system, but they fitted their own very specific look and feel to it. So that's why I don't really feel it's fair calling this car the Fiata, because they did take a lot of effort to make little changes here and there, like that extra maybe 5% on the interior that makes an absolutely huge difference. So I want to show you guys just how easy it is to put this top down. A lot of people were not fans of the manual top and thought, you could have put an automatic top in. Look how easy this is. Even with one hand, put it down, click it in, you're done. That was like 10 seconds, and that is faster than pretty much any top out there. So let's go for a drive now that we have that top.
So fun fact, it is about 100 degrees out today in Texas, and I'm driving with the top down, which it's sunny, so it's nice, but at the same time, it makes the air conditioning work extra hard, which is really good, by the way. But definitely doing the top down in this review for you guys because it actually would probably be a little more pleasant in some ways with it being 100 degrees and a little bit humid out with the top up. But wanted to give you guys, the best, the true convertible experience. Driving this car with the top up is kind of a shame. It's kind of an abomination.
So for all intensive purposes, if you change this car to have this a sportier suspension and the exhaust, you're probably going to gain a bit of power if you put the right exhaust on there, and you're going to get the better looks. And of course that's subjective, but because of everything I documented, you're going to get the same performance or similar performance, but with the better looks of this car. So for me, that's a huge win. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Which would you go with? Would you take this guy, maybe save a little money, do some modifications to the suspension and exhaust, or would you just go for the Abath and just have that extra plastic but just rather not have anything to do?
So how is the ride quality? It's not bad. It's not a luxury car by any sense of the word, but it's not meant to be. But it's not uncomfortable. It actually feels like a car I could go on a long trip in. The seats are very nice. Fiat did a great job on those. you can just lay back, relax, and just enjoy the car, and that's saying a lot. I do like shifting it manually a lot more than I do leaving it in automatic mode, mostly because automatic is gonna be targeted for fuel economy. In the Abath, there is a sport button which can change that, but I just, either way, even if I have a sport button, if I just want to drive in a sporty way, I just turn it into manual mode and do this. Here's a turn. Oh yeah, it just eats those turns in a way you just wouldn't believe. It's pretty indescribable. All right, so we got some curvy roads going on now, and this will be a great way to test, does this feel like an Italian sports car or something else entirely? Oh, it feels nice. It handles these curves quite beautifully. Granted, this model, the Abath and the Lusso, does have the 17-inch rims, the bigger rims and tires, so it's gonna handle a little better. But my gosh, I did not expect this out of this car. I think it succeeded the Miata. Again, it's gonna be a personal preference, but earlier I showed you guys how easy it was to put the top down. So let me just show you now how easy it is to put it up. You pull up this lever here, the top just pops up automatically with the spring, the windows go down. And then you could theoretically do it with one hand or two. Click it into place, you're done. This thing will rev right up to 8,000. It does it easily, it does it effortlessly, it does it beautifully. I mean, it is just a great car. So, important question, how does it sound? Well, I think it sounds really deep and throaty for such a small engine. And it's obvious the Italians paid a lot of attention, I just mean a ton of attention, to getting the sound right on this car. And let me tell you, they did a great job. How's the turning circle? How's the turning radius? We are in a very small spot now. Let's see if I can do it in one go. Luckily, we do have a backup camera here. Boom. Super easy. Here's another turn coming up. Oh yeah. I mean, it just takes it. I don't know that I would change the suspension out on this car, even on the Lusso, or Luxury Edition, is what they call it, because it's tight. It definitely, I mean, if you're gonna track it, of course, but if you're just kind of driving it around every day, doing just standard, driving and taking some turns here and there and going on some curvy roads, I'm not sure it's worth it. So it's that time of the video that I tell you guys why I don't like about this car, why I wouldn't buy this car, constructive critiques, things like that. Given the price point of this car, to get an Italian design, Italian engine, sports convertible, pretty well loaded for under 30 grand, 30,000 American, there aren't a lot of critiques. Is there a lot of storage space? Not really. There's not even a glove box. But that's not what this car is about. this is probably going to be a second car, or it could probably be your primary car if you didn't have a family or do a lot of shopping or anything like that. For what this car is, however, which is just a fun, nimble, sporty little car, I can't think of any critiques of this car. Could I live with this car every day? And the answer is I could. It's surprisingly quiet because they actually added an extra layer of lining to the top. It's surprisingly comfortable. It's surprisingly easy to drive. It's efficient. This really could be your everyday, daily driver car. Unless, of course, you had anything you wanted to put in it besides this little area here. But if you're just traveling light and just want a great mode of transportation, this is the car for you. Ever found yourself saying, I want an Italian sports car, but I don't want to get an old, unreliable car, and I don't want to spend a lot of money? This is the perfect balance of that. Any of the minor little idiosyncrasies here or there, when you put that top down, go on a curvy road, rev that engine up, that Italian growling engine, everything else just goes away. You melt into a moment in time, and it's just you in the car. Oh, listen to that. I wanted to put the top up to show you guys exactly what it sounds like being inside this car. It sounds great. Would I recommend it over the Miata? I would, without hesitation. I think the styling, I think they're both pretty cars. I think the styling on this car, though, is a little bit more consistent, and I think that's really important. So here I am back at Fiat of McKinney, and I have to say, this is a great car, and I couldn't recommend it more.